Hey yo. So recently I had the pleasure of playing with Monster, Tier 2 pro player, most recently played on Sad Boys with the types of Fear, Ryoya, Z-Freak, and Moo, and he's currently rank 25 in NA, so pretty impressive guy. And while I played like complete garbage in this game, he did give me a little nugget of wisdom in an offhanded comment that he didn't even think about, but it just like changed, it blew my fucking mind. So unfortunately, I clean installed Dota, so this replay specifically is gone. It says downloading forever, whatever. But we can see this idea in another replay. So here I have a scrim where my possible new team is playing. Whatever, doesn't matter. Basically, it's this. You don't play under vision. Now, this isn't like some fucking like mind-blowing idea on its own. Like, several people are familiar with this idea. Like, if you're playing like some Blink Initiation hero, you don't want to show on creep waves because creep waves give vision, right? Like, if you know the enemy teams has ward somewhere, you probably don't want to walk under it. But this is about taking it one step further. So you have to assume the enemy has visions on high grounds. Because if you look here, these high ground boards are busted. They are broken AF. This unobstructed vision gives so much fucking like tactical control over an area, whether it's this cliff ward. Honestly, any of these, the fact that they give unobstructed vision in such a big radius is so fucking game winning. And what you have to do is, if you haven't been in an area a bit, you haven't dewarded or whatever, especially if the enemy team's played in that area, you have to assume that it's warded, even if it's just a chance. And what that means is if you assume it's warded, the way you play and the way you path changes. And it's going to be really important. Now, honestly, this is a pretty shit example, but it's like the easy one that I can pull off offhand. But if you're playing like a hero like DK, like there's a fight breaking out, you want to join a team fight, you're walking in blind high ground, like we go Fog, Radiant. Like, we don't see shit here. And, so one, walking up blind high ground, scary as hell. And two, if it's like near a cliff ward spot, like here, look what happens as soon as he like walks up here. Line, blink, stun, mana drain, X. And well, in this case, we're just winning the fight on the other end. It doesn't really matter. This could be so much worse if you're playing like a swishier hero, if you're like a Clockwork or something, a support that wants to initiate. Like the idea that like walking up these high grounds, especially around these cliff ward areas, is incredibly dangerous is the one I want to get across. So let's take a look at an empty lobby and we see exactly what vision these wards are giving and what you should be notable of and paths that you can use to get around it, which should help your game. Alright, so let's start with the more common like cliff wards here, and the one specifically we just saw. We place an obs up here and blink away because we don't want to give the vision of our main hero. We can see the radius is like this, which means there is areas here to walk, and you can actually walk here. So if we create an enemy hero, and we briefly get vision over him, so we have control over him, but we're not going to get his vision. So we can see there's like proof of concept. Oh, you can just like walk all along this area without being seen. So we're going to pop out here. This also means you can like walk through and into the Roach Pit and pop out a more tactical time. Unfortunately, you can't like get around this tree line without being seen. But that could be important too if like, even if you're smoking into Roche or if you don't have a smoke you want to go into Roche, like taking some kind of path. Obviously, you wouldn't be seen here because that's just faceless void vision. So that's an important piece of information. The other side, there's a little bit of darkness here. It's the same idea. You can walk along the tree lines here and get behind it without being seen. So I can like walk him all the way out here. And that's kind of proof that he walked this way, right? So that's for this one. And you should do this on your own. Honestly, like there's so much stuff that you don't, or at least me, like I peaked at 6.7k MMR, top 1000 in NA. And there's shit here that like I didn't think about or know about. Like the fact that both of these camps are seeable from this ward. Didn't know that. Or like this cliff ward here. This covers 3 camps. Like, I've thrown games because I went from clearing lane and be like, ooh, I'm going to be sneaky off map and farm this camp while there's an observer ward here. And I just lost because they just killed me. Because I didn't realize, I like, oh, this ward probably stops like here or something, right? Like, this is a piece of information that you can easily just study and know on your own. That'd be like, oh, I can walk along here if I want to dodge this observer ward. Some ideas on the sides. Place here. Here, we're actually, what is it? Kill wards. So we place an obs here. We can see the path you can take. In fact, we have both these here. There's still a path that you can take and be in fog, which is kind of crazy. And so, like, depending on what map you have, maybe you want to, like, oh, I'm going to memorize this little fire and that I can go straight south of it and still be hidden. Same idea for the rest of these spots. Well, this covers basically everything, right? We go over here. Like, oh, what else can we see? Okay, so we can see a little bit of high ground, so that might be important. Or, oh, I can walk, if I'm like a mid laner ganking this side lane, maybe I want to walk through, pick up this bounty, and make sure I don't show here, and make sure I like path through here. Or even if I'm walking to the river, only walk a little bit. Or maybe I want to cut this tree when I'm going to this bottom lane. Like, these are all things that you can like think about and prepare beforehand. Once again, same thing for this cliff spot. Like, what else can you see here? Be like, oh, this covers the small camp. It covers these runes. It covers this medium camp. Like, maybe you didn't necessarily know that. Maybe if you're afraid that they're playing this area, like, let's say you're like on Dire and forced into your base, and you're like, all right, I need to get some creeps. So maybe you like, okay, maybe I can safely farm this ancient camp if I like cut a tree here or something. Right, because I'm afraid there's a ward here. Or maybe you're afraid there's a ward on this high ground. And you're like, oh, okay, maybe I can path through mid, whatever. So I highly recommend that you just like go into a pub or go into an NT lobby, put cheats on, WTF, give the command to get wards is a little annoying. It's -item, id _ward _ observer. Then you just place these wards and be like, huh, look. Like, really learn and think about what is all the vision this gives. Because this is just information that you can study and think about on your own. That isn't like a mechanics thing. They can still help you improve and change the way you look at the map and the way you just like move around the map and play the game. So, yeah, that's that on the high level. I wanted to keep this short. Hopefully it was useful. Anywho, easy way to support me, like, subscribe. Honestly, I've been in a bit of a rut, but whenever I get like encouraging comments or people subscribing, all these things make me want to like put out more content that's hopefully useful to people. That's that. If you want to see me grief live, I stream on Twitch. I'll have a link in the description. Thanks. Bye.